An update on The Rock's plans now that he's returned to WWE television, making a shocking comeback at Bad Blood, as well as Triple H's comments and a promo from the final boss himself. Triple H has commented after the incident involving Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens after Bad Blood went off the air, with Owens turning heel and attacking his former tag team partner. Triple H has also addressed the representation of black wrestlers on WWE Premium Live Event cards, an update on the in-ring status of Keith Lee in All Elite Wrestling, as well as an update on the condition of Drew McIntyre following his bloody Hell in a Cell match with CM Punk at Bad Blood. Triple H discusses the potential production changes after Raw moves to Netflix next year, an update on Goldberg's future in WWE after he was involved in a segment with Gunther at the Premium Live event last weekend, and several more matches have been added to the WrestleDream pay-per-view this weekend. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the final boss himself, The Rock, who made a stunning return this past weekend at Bad Blood. And do we know what's about to happen next when it comes to The Rock, Cody Rhodes, and the Bloodline? Well, the final boss is back, with The Rock making his return to WWE in the closing moments of Saturday's Bad Blood Premium Live event in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, The Rock has not appeared on WWE television since the nights after WrestleMania 40, where he promised Cody Rhodes that their story was just beginning. With The Rock staring down both Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at the end of the show, there has been a lot of speculation about what the plans are going forward for The Rock, as well as his role in the Bloodline storyline in the coming months. Well, an offhand remark from Solo Sikoa may have provided more information on his role. In a video uploaded to TikTok from a fan in attendance in Atlanta, Georgia, Solo was heard leaning over to Jacob Fatu in the crowd, as well as leaning over to the fans in attendance, suggesting that The Rock's return was all part of the plan.
Solo said part of the plan. What a night for real.
So possibly all part of the plan, according to Solo Sikoa. Whether or not that is legitimate, time will tell. Now, when it comes to The Rock himself, he's not one to hide away or shy away from commenting or uploading a lengthy social media promo. Now, after the arrival this past weekend, Dwayne The Rock Johnson took to Instagram to share a backstage look at his surprise appearance. Here's a snippet of what The Rock had to say after making his return at Bad Blood.
What is the final boss thinking? Well, here's what the final boss is thinking right now. Is the final boss pissed? How you doing? All right, come on. Is the final boss pissed? Is the final boss happy? Is he somewhere down the middle? Well, the final boss says this. The Rock is feeling a lot of things about what he just witnessed. The Rock is feeling a lot of things about what he just witnessed. The final boss, you keep that camera rolling. The final boss is feeling a lot of things. And you know why? Because there's been a bunch of bullshit that's been going on in the past 6 months. Ain't that right?
Yeah.
Give me some.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. You a fan of The Rock?
I am.
Hell yeah, you are. What's up, brother? Rock is out.
Take it easy.
Nice watch.
Thank you.
If the final boss had a sister, he'd introduce you to her. Now let's go. You want to know how the final boss is feeling about all that? The final boss will tell you. But the final boss will tell you when the final boss is ready for you to know. But here's the thing. What just happened out there, Bad Blood? Man, that was heat. Man, that was fire. Man, that was hell. But what's happening right here, this is heaven. Because it's heaven every time the final boss, his music hits. Oh, look at this one right in front of the final boss. Get a shot of him. My guy, right there. Beer and tequila on The Rock. Let's do it. Because you're The Rock's boy. And there's The Rock's hero. One of The Rock's heroes right there. Hard times. I love you. I hate your son. And look at you. Go eat some Fruity Pebbles. Hey! Here we go. The Rock is made. A little bit of a maze. But here we go. And like The Rock was saying, we're live. Every time The Rock comes back, to the WWE Universe. The Versace comes on, the glasses come on, the People's Champ title bestowed upon The Rock by Muhammad Ali's wife herself. And The Rock becomes the final boss. But what just happened tonight, you felt the electricity, you felt the fire. That place was going crazy tonight before The Rock came out. The final boss music hits. If you smell, bang, roof blew off that place. The world will never be the same again. Because right now, The Rock is feeling good. Right now, everybody at home who just witnessed the final boss come out is feeling good. Right now, the world is feeling good. Mana, the final boss. And here we go. Because this is how good the final, god damn, that's good shit. The final boss is feeling music.
Now, it wasn't the only thing that happened after Bad Blood this past weekend. Of course, we saw a shocking heel turn actually take place after the show went off the air. Now, WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque has reacted to the backstage brawl between WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens after Bad Blood. Now, the Undisputed Champion Rhodes emerged victorious in the main event of Bad Blood when he and Roman Reigns defeated Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, but the American Nightmare was in for a rude awakening after the match as he was assaulted by his former friend. Take a look at what happened once the show went off the air, with fans capturing the footage in the parking lot.
Move out of the way!
Now, as I mentioned, Triple H has taken to social media to address the incident. He tweeted out, quote, "We are aware of the incident outside of the arena last night between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. The matter will be dealt with internally," said Levesque. Now, WWE has yet to actually acknowledge the incident on its social media or YouTube channel, adding to the intrigue surrounding the clash between the two. Now, Owens, who had been teasing a heel turn on Rhodes for weeks, was seen in a heated conversation, as you saw there, with Rhodes, and eventually it got physical. So whether or not this will actually find its way on WWE television, we'll have to wait and see. But what are your thoughts when it comes to how they actually have done this heel turn, choosing not to do it actually on WWE TV? Now, Triple H, of course, he was speaking at the Bad Blood post-show press conference and had some very intriguing questions put to him. Now, a topic of conversation amongst fans of late has been the absence of black male wrestlers on WWE's premium live event cards. Now, Levesque, during the post-show presser, was asked about the representation, to which he had the following response.
PLE in the last 3 cards, there was no black male wrestlers. on the Bad Blood card. How do you gauge between making sure that there's representation and making sure that there are wrestlers that get opportunities that are deserved?
I see everybody gets the opportunity. Like if I don't see the difference in anybody. I don't see the color, I don't see the nationality, I don't see any of it. I just see talent. I don't see the difference between men and women. I see talent. We tell stories with those talent, how they can handle those stories and how they can represent those stories and how we can bring those stories forward. So, I don't keep track of any of that. I do what's relevant and what is best, and the best in storytelling and what's being delivered the best, and then that's what goes. No different than, the men and the women who main events, whatever the biggest stories are, that's where we go.
What do you think about Triple H's response there? Let me know your reaction in the comments section below. Now, Keith Lee, a bit of an update on Keith Lee and his status, or certainly lack thereof, when it comes to an in-ring AEW return. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, Keith Lee still isn't ready for a return to the ring. After being sidelined for 9 full months, many have been wondering and inquiring about the status of former AEW Tag Team Champion Keith Lee. In following up, Fightful Select were told that Keith Lee has still yet to be clear for a return to action due to an undisclosed medical issue. Of course, Lee was planned to take on Swerve Strickland at AEW World's End last year, which was finally able to capitalize on the two splitting almost 1 year prior. Unfortunately, in the days prior to the match, Lee was sidelined and has not since returned. He's not been a regular in TV tapings in quite some time and hasn't been factored in creatively. Of course, he remains on the AEW roster. He's still under contract with the company. Obviously, we wish him the best in his recovery. A bit of an update here when it comes to Drew McIntyre and his, medical status following that hellacious Hell in a Cell match this past weekend. Drew McIntyre reportedly had several stitches to his forehead following this weekend's match against CM Punk at Bad Blood. Both men bled during their battle, with Punk's laceration coming after Drew drove the Second City Saint headfirst into a chain link wall of the cage at ringside. Later in the match, with Punk standing at ringside and Drew inside the ring reaching through the ropes to grab his opponent, the former swung a metal toolbox over his head that connected with the head of McIntyre, which caused him to bleed profusely. Although wrestlers will sometimes cut themselves with a blade in the ring, PW Insider is reporting that McIntyre was legitimately busted open from the toolbox shot and that 16 staples were required to close the wound. McIntyre and Punk paid homage to Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart's submission match at WrestleMania 13, with Punk locking in a sharpshooter on a crimson mask wearing McIntyre, who screamed out in pain, trying not to submit. McIntyre introduced a sack full of loose beads during the match, missed a Claymore kick attempt, and eventually landed on steel stairs that were brought into the ring. Punk shoved some beads into McIntyre's mouth in a role reversal from a month ago on Raw and ended the war with a GTS to score the pinfall victory. McIntyre and Punk completed their trilogy of matches at Bad Blood, with McIntyre winning the first encounter at SummerSlam, Punk winning the second clash at Bash in Berlin in a strap match, and the grudge match inside Hell in a Cell, restoring a diabolical side to the legendary match stipulation, as Punk intended to do. Now, Triple H has spoken about a variety of possible changes and production moves when Raw moves to Netflix next year. A hot topic on the minds of fans is what Raw will look like when WWE's flagship show of more than 30 years moves to Netflix in January of 2025, beginning a 10-year, $5 billion deal with the streaming giant. Netflix is also having the option to opt out after 5 years or to extend by an additional 10 years. At the Bad Blood press conference, WWE CCO Paul Triple H Levesque was asked about the production changes that could occur once Raw moves to Netflix. He said, quote, "Here's the cool thing about what we do. Slightly different from a lot of other sports. Somebody like Netflix picks them up and somebody has to produce that content because the other sport doesn't produce the content." Triple H said, "We do everything we do and we just deliver the product. They turn on the signal. We deliver it out. I think it's one of the key wonderful things about WWE, that not everybody is in that place." Triple H acknowledged that Netflix is giving WWE an incredible canvas to paint on, but noted that he is still going to be a WWE product, just with the volume turned up. The Hall of Famer is also excited by the opportunity of viewership expansion that Netflix allows them to have and that they didn't have before. He said, quote, "When we do that, hit all the US, Raw, but then with Raw, with SmackDown, with NXT, with all the PLEs, hit 80% of the globe starting on January 6th, where we were strong in all of those places. And now with Netflix, it just goes to another level. So the one thing I can say is we're working intently on that, putting a lot of hard work into that, but I'm also so excited about the opportunity of what that presents for us and where we're going to go with it. So wait and see, but it's going to be awesome. Now, speaking of Raw as well, he also spoke about the changes in Raw that we're going to see in the final few months on USA Network as well, of course, because WWE is amid a shake-up when it comes to their TV broadcasting rights. NXT has moved from USA to the CW, SmackDown has moved from Fox to USA, and Raw, of course, is going to Netflix next year. Until the Raw move, though, to Netflix, the WWE flagship show will be reverting to a 2-hour time slot on USA for the first time since 2012. At the Bad Blood press conference, WWE CCO Paul Triple H Levesque was asked about the changes in Raw's broadcasting. He said, quote, "We're just in this moment where Raw goes down to 2 hours. What does that do for us? It's an hour less show. We found ourselves over time of being in this wild spot. If you would have asked me a few years ago, 3 hours was just the difference between 2 and 3 is just night and day. It's just different. It's a little bit of a stress because it's less, but I think sometimes less is more, and I think it's going to be a really good thing." Triple H then commented on what Raw will look like on Netflix. He said, quote, "We're still working through all that, so I think the truth is you guys will have to watch and see. I'm going to have to wait and see, but we'll deal with it. And the truth is, no matter what the length of time, it's just about putting out the best product we can, telling the best stories possible we can," the Hall of Famer said. "Let's write the best stories, and then we'll try and figure out how to jam it into whatever time slot we have available." Now, he also spoke about Goldberg. Now, Goldberg, could the former Universal Champion be making his way back to WWE in terms of in-ring competition? Now, World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, of course, confronted Bret the Hitman Hart on Raw last month, insulting Hart by saying he was his second favorite wrestler behind Bill Goldberg. At WWE's Bad Blood PLE, with Goldberg sitting in the front row, Gunther insulted Goldberg, saying he was a one-trick pony and that he was not actually his favorite wrestler, causing a skirmish between the two. At the Bad Blood press conference, Paul Levesque commented on Goldberg appearing in his hometown for the event, saying, quote, "Atlanta loves Bill Goldberg. That's why he was here tonight with his wife and his son. Always going to get a huge reaction here, enjoying the show." Triple H was also asked about the potential of Goldberg returning to the ring. He said, quote, "Things get said. I can tell you that when Bill came back, he was not too happy with Gunther, and we'll see. We'll see," Triple H said. "The further you go, time catches up with all of us, and so the further you go, those talks get further and further away from reality, but I don't know. I saw Bill earlier in the day, and it was great. I saw Bill later in the day, and there was a different look on his face with a spark in his eye, so I would say never say never." And finally, of course, AEW presents the WrestleDream pay-per-view this weekend, and several more matches have been added to the show. On this past week's AEW Collision, 2 title matches and another singles match were announced for the show. Former AEW TNT champion Darby Allin, who recently lost his #1 contender spot for the AEW World Championship to Jon Moxley, will face off against Brody King, who ambushed him on Collision. Following Darby's match against Johnny TV, where he emerged the victor, House of Black's King answered Darby Allin's recent open challenge for a match at WrestleDream. King and Darby last faced off against each other in a singles match in 2022, where Darby Allin won their coffin match. AEW World Tag Team Champions the Young Bucks, who successfully defended their titles at Grand Slam, will put their titles on the line once again at WrestleDream, this time against Private Party. Mariah May, the current AEW Women's World Champion, will learn who her opponent for WrestleDream will be on this week's Title Tuesday edition of AEW Dynamite, where Britt Baker and Willow Nightingale will compete for a shot at her AEW Women's World Championship. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this day. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.